Okay, I will call the October 8th, 2019 Village Board meeting to order. And I will ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Trustee Bingham.
Present.
Trustee Duncan.
Here.
Trustee Brendan. Here. Trustee Mansell. Here. Trustee Mitchell. And Trustee Saylor.
And Trustee Mitchell has an excused absence tonight. Okay, we will be having the Pledge of Allegiance, and after the Pledge of Allegiance, I would ask you to remain standing for a brief moment of silence in honor of our war heroes. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Please be seated. Okay, the chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meetings.
Move to approve all three meetings at the same time, or minutes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we'll be approving the September 10th, September 16th, and the September 30th Committee of the Whole meeting. All those minutes will be in one motion. Is there any discussion on any? Receiving no request to speak. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, public comment on the agenda, any agenda item. Anybody out there that wants to make a public comment? I have a idea why you're all here tonight, and I'm glad you showed up. So we will move on then to President's Report. And the clerk has given me some correspondence here from the Port Edwards Lions Club, and they have made a very nice donation to our splash pad, which lies right out here. And I will turn it over to the Public Works Supervisor to explain what the money will be used for. It's $700, by the way.
So during Fun Fest, Lions members were asking what we need around here, this area, to make it better, look nicer. Garbage cans come up on the top of our list right now. We had some green 55-gallon barrels that have been used in the parks and didn't really look like they meant to be in the splash pad area. So the Lions were good enough to give us a donation to purchase one nice garbage can. It's almost out of concrete with a nice top and things that'll add to the splash pad. And with that, the village will buy one, and so it'll be two brand new garbage cans out here to add to the splash pad, one by the Lions and one by the village. So definitely want to thank the Lions for all they do in helping us make the park and the splash pad look better, an opportunity for kids and families to use it. So thanks again to them.
Thanks, Ben. Before we move into committee reports, I would like to introduce our interim administrator, Mr. Dwayne Gow. He is from the Wausau area. And Dwayne, would you like to say a few words to the folks? Or?
Sure. First of all, I've been here for about 2 weeks now, or 2 weeks. It's been a pleasure. It's a beautiful community, and what I've met already is a good staff. So you're very fortunate to have a good staff. Now, also those board members I met too, so they've done very well to me. So basically, I'm happy to be here, and I've been welcomed very well. So thank you.
As you notice, he has a sense of humor. All righty, moving into committee reports. Under Airport Commission, we're lucky enough to have Jeremy Sickler, the airport manager at Southwood County Airport, here for his quarterly report, which is 2 months late. So, Jeremy, if you want to come up and have a seat at the table, and then if anybody has any questions on the Airport Commission minutes, Jeremy will be able to answer.
Well, thanks for having me once again. As Joe mentioned, this is a little bit overdue, and I'll try to keep this brief. Apparently there's something more important on the agenda than what I've got to say. So, again, we're kind of getting to the end of our busy season, which we all know is a very seasonal, very finite, busy time, and which is a blessing and a curse. It's kind of nice to take a deep breath, but it's also nice to see that activity rolling through and the money that comes with it. But It was another year that was, again, as busy as, if not busier than previous years. We haven't had the doubling of activity which we've seen in previous years as Sand Valley emerged and got more reputable. I think we're at a point now where we might be seeing a more steady level of activity, like a plateau, which is fine, and we have a better way of budgeting and planning for that. But again, fuel sales narrowly exceeded last year. Revenues were up. A lot of the services, a lot of the equipment and service provision equipment that we purchased over the past couple of years is starting to get used more regularly as people realize that we have it out there. So it's other amenities that we offer and other revenue sources. So another good year. The next time I'm here, Joe and I will talk about when that is. If it's December or January, I'll have a formal annual report put together, which I put together every year. So it'll have some year-over-year comparisons. And so activity was good. Another good season. I get a lot of comments. A lot of people, even right here, mentioning these big, extravagant planes that they've seen out on the apron out there. And who's in that plane? But I don't usually know who it is. I'm more focused on what the pilots need and what the plane needs than snapping pictures of people jumping off of it and going golfing. So, project-wise, there's still 4 open projects out there, believe it or not. A couple of projects that have been lingering, at least some minor things that need to be either completed or changed or modified from previous year's projects. Before those can be completed. We just started, Altman Construction, who won the bid, just started pouring the footings for the large community hangar that the commission was assured of funding for maybe 7 or 8 months ago. So it's a quick turnaround from the time we were assured the money to the time there's boots on the ground and concrete in the ground has gone quite well. That's, I think, one advantage of having a local contractor doing it. So next July, there will be, I know it's a long ways away, and I'll see you guys many times in the meantime, but hoping to have a ribbon cutting, open house, business after hours kind of a thing in the new hangar over at the airport. You'll be you'll be notified of it well in advance, so you can all hopefully be over there for it. That'll be an exciting project. It'll be very noticeable from the corner of First and 2 Mile there once it's up there. I mean, it'll be a pretty substantial building up there, so looking forward to that. I had a lot of questions about it. There were some drawings, sketches of it in the terminal building this year, and pilots asking when's that going to be ready, because many of them would like to have hangar space that we just don't have for them now. So there's some build-up and some anticipation of that already. I guess. Other than that, I mean, a couple of other little things that it's nice hearing. I don't have any quantifiable numbers to share with you, but the impact that people are mentioning, that either their business or their people they know, other businesses, they've seen the summer surge of traffic and summer surge of activity benefiting local community businesses and other businesses that have either capitalized on some of the money and some of the activity that's in town, or even entrepreneurial type opportunities for some popular businesses. So again, another busy, successful busy season, and now it's onto the administrative half of the year, and hopefully working on getting some refurbishment done in the terminal building. If there's one comment we do get about any, if you want to call it inadequacy, is the dated look and feel of the building that's over there. As always, you're more than welcome to stop in. I'd happily show any of you around if you ever wanted to stop in and say hi and see what's going on over there. I can't promise you you'll get any free rides, but at least you'll be able to see what's going on if you like. So by all means, stop by, give me a call, send me an email, and be happy to see you over there.
Thank you, Jeremy. Any questions on anything, the minutes or his presentation? Okay, Jeremy, thank you very much, and we'll see you in January.
Great, yeah, thanks folks.
All righty. All right, moving on. Chairman Stewart, Police and Fire Commission, review your proceedings of the commission's meeting, and item 2 that we're all kind of anxious to see.
Thank you, Mr. President. Police and Fire Commission held its last regular meeting last night at the municipal building. We also had a special meeting on October 1st at 4 o'clock at the high school, and that was in order to run a police officer eligibility list test to include physical agility and a written test. Those test results were reviewed last night in closed session. 3 candidates will go on to commission interviews, which are scheduled for October 21st. Fire Chief Art advised the commission of the status of his reference background checks and the internal processing of fire applicants. Police Chief Drew will conduct background investigations for those applicants, and both will submit a report to the commission. Other than that, I think we might as well go to why everyone's here. I'd like to ask Chief Drew and Officer Abbott and their families to step forward. Although these 2 employees have been working officially for the village for more than a couple weeks, Police and Fire Commission is very proud to announce the ceremonious swearing in of their oath of office and the issuing and pinning on their badges by their family members, Julie and I think Madeline, right? Okay, thanks Madeline. We especially recognize families of all our first responders who choose to serve the community. Without their support and sacrifice, it would not be possible. Scott comes to us, real quick, Scott comes to us via a successful career at Will County Sheriff's Department. We're excited to have him, and we think the community is lucky to have him as well. Brandon Abbott comes to us after serving several years with Wisconsin Rapids PD. We believe Brandon's a good catch for the village, and we're very lucky to have him with us. With that, I'd like to ask Diane to swear in the officers.
You're going to do it together with them?
Sure.
Okay, I state your name.
I, Scott Drew,
Swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully and impartially
and will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties of
discharge the duties of
the office of
Chief of Police
of the Village of Port Edwards
of the Village of Port Edwards
to the best of my ability, so help me God.
to the best of my abilities, so help me God.
Okay, congratulations.
Julie, would you do the honor of pinning on Chief Drew's badge? Madeline, you pinned your badge on your father. Thank you very much, everyone. We really appreciate having you here, and we're very happy you're serving for us.
I'd just like to make one announcement without objection from any of the trustees. Chief, you have the rest of the evening off.
Mr. President, that's all I have, other than our next regular scheduled meeting is 11/11 at 6:30.
November 11th?
Yes, sir.
By the way, my son-in-law advises me that there is a community of people who collect police patches.
Yes, there is.
And he also advised me that one of the rare ones that every collector longs for is Port Edwards, because it's one of the smallest departments in the state.
It's funny you say that. I got 2 emails about a month ago from different people that wanted a patch.
Yeah, so I got a couple, or I got the old patch and the new patch from Lon. I bought them from before
Yeah.
he left, so anyway, I just thought that was interesting, so.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
The one most in desire is the shape of the state of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
That's your friend, John, or Chief, or Scott, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman? All righty, let's move on to Streets, Infrastructure, Recreation, and Cemetery Committee. Eric, could you take that? There's not
Yes,
much
sir.
on there.
We had a meeting on September 17th at 5 o'clock. Everybody's seen the minutes. It was a little while ago. Really, there was nothing that we talked about. There's no motions. Easy peasy.
Any,
We were done by 5:38, so.
any
we're talking about that.
detailed discussion on that?
Do we have any questions on minutes or anything?
I was not there, I was in Chicago, so.
The only thing of note would probably be the, what was it? Something-
Sewer
the
backup
back- yeah,
exposure program, but we tabled that. We're gonna have more discussion about it following month because Ben was gone also.
Okay, Chairman Bingham, the Pit Committee.
We met on September 24th at 5 PM, the Planning, Legislative, Property, Information and Technology Committee. No motions were brought up. We did discuss follow up on the medical arts building construction, and it was reported out that there was a walkthrough going on in the punch list, excuse me. So we're pretty much up to date on that project, right, Ben? Is that, we're pretty comfortable with that?
And one fire extinguisher and should be.
Okay, good, thank you. Also, just a review of the ATV, UTV ordinance, probably more for me, because I wasn't on the board at that particular time. All streets under the speed limit of 35 miles per hour are open, and the ordinance has been updated. This is also going to be referred to the Public Safety Committee, so they can review that particular ordinance. Okay? Sale of village property in regard to 6th Street. That was basically tabled for the moment. We're going to review that at our next meeting. There's some zoning changes, zone requirements we'll have to review on that. Scott Harrington, a consultant of ours, was in to talk about the TIF and opportunity zone, and the primary thing that came out of that is we can't go that alone. We should go regional, and that is our best opportunity for perhaps getting involved with that. And that's about all I had, Mr. President.
Any comments, questions? Ben?
All streets under the limit, the speed limit of 35 are open. That probably needs to be changed because Port Road is actually open, the speed limit is 40 there, just so that we're aware of that, how that's written. The speed limit is 35, ATVs can only go
Go
35,
35, yeah.
but the speed limit on the road is 40.
Okay, so we should reword that, basically?
Whatever you want, but I'm just saying.
I mean, we don't have to review, I don't think.
We don't have to bend the minutes.
By state law, they cannot go more than 35 miles.
And the first two SUVs, or SUVs, ATVs, UTV, whatever you want to call them, go by Port Road yesterday afternoon, and I think they thought the speed limit was 53, so 35. Did you
Well,
see
law
that?
enforcement will have some opportunities.
You yelled at him?
I did.
Good for you.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that, though, Ben, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
All right, then.
just for a comment, I've noted several ATVs driving around the streets of Nakusa by my office, just
That is
general,
open too, right?
just every place, like they're normal vehicles with license plates.
The only thing in the cruise is you can't have them on city property. I don't know how important it is, but there's no
Yeah,
parking.
no parking
in
on
it,
it,
so
so
that's-
Wow. Okay.
I'm sure this will be a discussion item down the road, but I concur with what the ordinance has been changed to and support it. And my previous discussion was we were talking one road, and that came back on board, and now we're open territory. So that, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
If residents can benefit from it and abide by the law, and I agree with Betsy, if they're going too fast on port, we need to really monitor that. And I'm sure Scott and his team will.
The semis that are on there and the ATVs, just as a recipe for disaster, you know. Hopefully things will be well. Chairman Grundon, Public Safety.
We met October 1st. We had a pretty quick meeting also. We did have one motion to bring forward, a motion to recommend approval of the 2020 fire protection contracts.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, motion by trustee, or Chairman Grundon, second by trustee Mansell to approve the 2020 fire contracts. Discussion.
Those are the ones that were redrafted?
Correct. Right?
Okay. All right.
Slightly.
So,
Well, the ones that were redrafted a few years ago.
I'm sorry, Dwayne, you're here.
No problem. I looked on them, they were updated. And
Okay.
Clerk Treasurer did a good job providing us with financial.
All right.
Anybody else? All those in favor of the 2020 fire contracts for approval will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Our next meeting is November 5th. We adjourned at 6:13. That's all we got.
Okay. FHR, could I impose on you to?
I guess. One moment, please.
Or we could wait till Sue gets back.
Back up and go for minutes. Actually, I think our FHR meeting was extraordinarily one second.
Well,
Sure. All right, we had our meeting October 3rd. We reviewed the monthly journal entries and bills. We have a motion to approve the journal entries from the previous month. We bring that to the board?
Right. Do you want to take item 2 under that first, since it's listed first, the bills?
Just-
Motion to the board to approve payment of the bills.
Do I have a second?
second.
Second by trustee Duncan. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
And then we have a motion to the board to approve journal entries.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Bingham. Discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. Anything else, Tiara?
Oh, I'm working on it. We had a discussion of the proposal for analysis of operations, staff, and board for the village with a report of the analysis and possible recommendation to the board. So with that, I think it would be appropriate to turn it over to Dwayne.
We can't do that yet because it's a separate item on the
Okay.
agenda.
So
But we
how's
will
that?
get there.
It's on new business.
Oh, okay. So then we have a couple extra meetings, and somebody did recently ask me why we're having so many meetings. We're having meetings to go through the process of recruiting our administrator. So our meetings are, we have a special meeting with employees to connect with each of our employees October 10th at 4:30, and then one October 14th at 3:30. We also have a budget session meeting October 17th at 4:30, and our regular FHR meeting is November 7th at 5 o'clock. Our meeting started at 5 o'clock, adjourned at 5:23.
Any other questions? Thank you, Tara. Okay, unfinished business from the previous meeting or meetings. I have nothing. Anybody have anything? Okay, under new business, the first thing we're going to be talking or discussing is a motion, and I will make the motion to authorize the village administrator or his designees to be appointed building inspector and zoning administrator. Oh, I gotta back up. Special Projects Committee, under G, you didn't have anything, Dana?
No.
Okay.
We're proceeding, it's just, there's nothing to report right at the moment.
Okay, sorry about that.
No
So,
problem.
back to the motion that I'm making to authorize village administrators designate to be appointed building inspector and zoning administrator for special projects according to Chapter 1 of the General Government Ordinance, Section 1.02, appointed officials. Do I have a second? Second by Trustee Bingham. Discussion. Do you want to make any comments on that?
No.
Okay, hearing no request to speak, all those in favor will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Okay, the second motion, I would like to make a motion to ratify General Engineering Company agreement for on-site inspection and corresponding written condition assessment. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Vice President Duncan. And discussion. Dwayne?
Yes, what I'm passing out to you is the general engineering contractor's small agreement for a special, back for the past motion. We have an agreement in place, and it's signed by, okay, parties, and this is what you're acting on.
Thank you.
And then, and I also can report that I had got contact with General Engineering today, and they will be in the village next week. I can't get the date, it's Tuesday, start the inspection process. And I have, I've been contacted, actually not me, but Ben and I went out to the site, got some photos, also provided photos to them, so they understand what they're dealing with for the special project.
Go ahead, John.
Is that okay? So this went out on bid?
No, this was actually, was recommended through the specials committee of the company to look at.
Okay.
And basically, when I saw who it was, that's one of the firms I know very well in the state that does this work.
Okay.
You actually got one of the better ones out there.
So we didn't look at any local?
No, and for this special project, this definitely would want to be someone of this caliber. We could have the opportunity to represent the village when we need to in the future.
Okay, thank you.
Will you and Ben accompany these folks, or do they go about their business?
No, we haven't set up, I didn't get a chance to talk to Ben, but I sent some emails. Basically, we got it set up, they'll be coming, we don't know the date, time, but they'll be coming a date. We definitely will have to be there to provide them the information. I also today sent the ordinances and pertaining to that project too, so they'll be reviewing them before they get here. And the idea is, the following week, they hope to have the report available to the special committee. So, that's hoping we're very forward like we wanted to.
Any other questions or discussions?
What committee did this come out of?
That was the, was that the committee of the whole?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, hearing no further requests to speak, all those in favor of approving the general engineering company agreement, for on-site inspection will signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay. The final motion I will make under new business is to approve the proposal for a study regarding village organization and government by Public Administration Associates LLC at a cost of $4,800 plus mileage expenses not to exceed $800. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Bingham. Discussion.
Yes, we had a discussion with the committee as a whole about going forward with the organization, and we at PAA, I want to introduce Chris Schwartz, my partner on this project. Actually, Chris is going to be taking the lead on it, and we talked about what we'd like to have, and I'd like to turn over to Chris a little bit to the objective that we had laid out in our proposal.
Okay.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you for being patient, Chris.
Oh, you guys are efficient. When I was a manager, 11 o'clock was usually the usual, so.
We can slow down.
No, I appreciate it. So my name is Chris Schwartz, as Dwayne said. I'm with Public Administration Associates. I do executive recruitment for them, and I also do organizational studies. Relatively new for to the company. I actually was a city manager for 36 years, and in Milwaukee area, East Troy, Sussex, and Shorewood, Wisconsin. And I retired a few years back, and after 2 years, I only could fish so much and hunt so much, and so I decided to go back and be relevant again into the public sector. Dwayne offered for me to, hey, why don't you come up, work on this project if the board approves it or accepts it. And so what it is, it's a proposal for the mini organizational study. We call it a mini organizational study because it's full-blown one. We didn't think it was needed, number one, and it was relatively expensive to do that. We've done many PAA. If you look on the proposals, they've done over 150 studies and the like for many communities, worked for over 300 communities, I believe, over the last 20 years. Kevin Brunner, who is our president, he's been in the business for now 38 years, and he just took over the company from Dr. Steve Hintz, who was University of Oshkosh professor and mayor of Oshkosh for a while as well. So we bring a big breadth of experience to you. And according to Dwayne said, hey, well, how would you summarize this this proposal? What the end product? And it's really to determine the organization structure and administrative policies that efficiently and effectively implements the policies of the board. How best that should your organization be to make sure that what you want done in the community, what you dictate to your staff, is done effectively and efficiently. And that's really kind of the heart of the matter here. You have an opportunity to look at this at this point. We haven't hired a new administrator yet. I know you're working hard on that, which is great. But when a new administrator comes in, they need a roadmap. It's better to come in when there is a formal structure in place. You do have one, but maybe over the years it's changed. So it's a good time to look at your structure. It's a good time to look at the job descriptions and the accountability and responsibility of your employees at this point. And also, obviously, the administrator to get what is the job description? What are they going to do? What things that maybe consultants do now that the administrator should be doing to save money? And, before you hire someone, you probably want that job description so that when you compare the experience and knowledge of the administrator, you can say, well, does it fit your needs, your current needs, in the job description? Is there a fit there? So that's one thing we'd be doing. We would again recommend formal organizational structure changes or not. We may find that there's nothing needed. It's always a possibility, which will include again, detailed role and responsibility for the staff and board. Dwayne said you may want to look at your committee structure. I'm not sure we can, talk about that. That's not a huge part. The salary schedule, the wage and benefits, are you comparable? How is that? How is your structure compared to surrounding communities? So we do that as part of this. We do the job descriptions, including the administrator, as I spoke, for everyone, because they may have changed. They may have new responsibilities. It's amazing how over the years that informal creep in people's responsibilities happen, which is good, but you should document that so everyone knows what each individual is responsible for and what they're accountable for, more importantly. And we'll review all the contracts with the professional services and determine what may be within, as I said, what's in the administrative role, the administrator's role. You may have an administrator and you need some planning experience, some zoning experience, some human resources experience. And is that outlined sufficiently in the job description? And more importantly, is that outlined enough so when you do your interviews of these candidates, that you can match, as I mentioned before, that there's a match there. So we would do that. We would put together a summary of recommendations, possible timetable for change, and hopefully once, Dwayne said, if I may, Dwayne, maybe the study will say you don't need an administrator. Possibility. I mean, I'm saying, this is when you throw everything on the table. They really do. This is the time to do that. We all have to look at, if it's your personal life, it's a good time to reflect on it. It's really a reflection. It's just to reflect on your organization and see if it's meeting the needs of the board and the community. That's the best summary, as I said in the beginning. And like I said, Dwayne and I will be doing interviews. We'll be reviewing all your administrative policies, and we'll be talking to board members, staff alike, and we'll write the report and bring it back probably, what timetable? Dwayne? Pardon? As soon as possible?
Yep.
Okay. Because I know you're on that path on the administrator, which, so. And I know they're kind of crossing now. I mean, you're kind of in the middle of both, so hopefully it's timely enough that it'll help your process for the administrator if that's what you decide to do. Thank you very much.
Suspend the rules, fire away with any questions you have.
Are we gonna get this in writing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, oh, definitely. It is a formal, I have a, if I may, just, it won't be this intricate, but, an example is the Village of Merton. I have some extra copies here, but we did a little bit more of them. We did a personal handbook from them, which you can have. But we also did the job descriptions and the audit. If you want to just glance at these, you can give you an example and you can keep them as well. So this is the type of report we do. I'll put one on each table. So at the end is where we summarize all our recommendations, because it's important to make sure. What we did for them is we actually put in timetable, place for the timetable and priority. So, and then we were asked to come back and help them do a little strategic planning on that too. So that's the report to answer your question.
Well, just speaking in support of it, I think as a committee, FHR committee, and with Dwayne's guidance, we've come to the conclusion that we're not sure what we want. And that was shown by the recent evaluation of the applicants. And that could have been a function of the job description, as you mentioned. And there's also a lack of congruence within the board, within the employees, and probably within the community on what that position should look like. So I think an audit or an organizational communication is a very positive thing to happen, to hopefully, we may not all agree at the end, but at least everything will be on the table. I think the recommendation, obviously we can accept it or not accept it, But I think somebody from outside who doesn't know our individual biases and opinions is good to come in and kind of take a look at us. And I think it's a very positive thing. So I support it 100%.
Anybody else have anything to say?
The one thing that we did discuss at our FHR meeting, this money is in the budget under the administrator's pay, is that correct?
Diane, can I refer to you?
Well, I haven't looked at the exact numbers, but also coming out of there are Dwayne's invoices, so you have to figure that in there too. I mean, I wasn't asked to check that out before the meeting, so I don't have the numbers.
Didn't Sue say that from what she looked at so far?
That is correct.
My understanding.
Anybody else? Okay, thank you for your comments, and Chris, thank you very much. We had a motion by myself, second by the vice president, to approve the proposal.
John, by trustee Bingham.
Oh, trustee Bingham, sorry, Dan. Sorry, John.
No apologies.
Okay, to approve the proposal for a study regarding village organization and government by Public Administration Associates, excuse me, LLC at a cost of $4,800, plus mileage expenses not to exceed $800. All those in favor of the motion will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? That motion carries. Okay, that takes care of new business. Dwayne?
I kind of gave my report from that last portion. We worked on getting the general engineering in place, a portion of it. Also, I've had an opportunity to visit the police department today and went through some of their operations, got a chance to see what that looks like. Last time I was in here, I spent good hours with the fire chief, and we went through the budgetary process with the fire chief, and it was a very good meeting because I got to understand what he was looking at, where they were in the past, and we both felt that he now knows where to go. I told him to ask some questions, get some information, so the goal objectives for him is to make sure we plug the numbers in, and we also went through the portion how the revenues come back. In other words, through this new age municipality, and sometimes look at the revenues and then take a look at the operation. I explained to them where each one is divided out. So you really run really tight based on your revenues coming in and based on your expenditures. They're right there. You look at both sides. So we had a good discussion. And I felt we're off and flying on that one. So I'll work with another departments very soon next time I come back.
Anything else? The Administrator's Office? Okay, Clerk Treasurer.
Nothing to report.
Okay. Any trustee comments? A quiet bunch tonight. All righty.
Sue's not here, that's why.
What's that?
Sue's not here, that's why.
Yeah. Okay, the meetings calendar, the Port Edwards Village Board for October 9th through November 12th, 2019, Thursday, October 10th at 4:30 p.m. The FHR will be meeting with the employees. That'll be in the municipal building. Monday, October 14th at 3:30 p.m. It will be FHR meeting with the other group of employees. Generally, the Public Works and the Police Department go on different nights. That's also in the municipal building. Then on Thursday, October 17th, will be our first budget workshop at 4:30 p.m. for the FHR committee. That will be in the municipal building. And that one will be open because there will be no discussing of wages at that one. Then on Tuesday, October 22nd at 5 p.m., John, and you're on both committees, so you're going to go first on the 22nd for Pitt.
At 5?
Right, and then also on the same day and date at 6 will be the CERC committee.
I'm not on that one.
And that will be in the municipal building. So on Tuesday, October 22nd, 5 o'clock for Pitt, 6 o'clock for the CERC, and both in the municipal building again. Then on Tuesday, November 5th at 5 PM, Public Safety will meet for the regular meeting in the municipal building. Then on Thursday, November 7th at 5 PM, the FHR will have their regular meeting, and that will be in the municipal building. And then that brings us to Tuesday, November 12th at 7 PM, the village board meeting, and that will be here at Edwards Alexander. And Chairman Stewart, you want to repeat your PFC?
11/11, Monday the 11th at 6:30 PM at the municipal building.
Okay, thank you, sir. And I just want you, before we adjourn, if we get a door on the bathroom and get a door that swings out the inner door on the new boardroom downtown, I'm thinking of probably, if we're ready to go by the first Tuesday of December, that's a public hearing on the budget, and it'd be a good way of, to showcase it, if everything's going. And if the tables and chairs aren't in yet, well, we can make do with these for a meeting. If we talk nice to the public works supervisor to bring some down. Yes?
So tables and chairs have been ordered?
Not
I thought
yet.
we were waiting.
Not yet.
They gave one to next year's budget.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they would have them.
So we'll just, so then the court will still be in the municipal building and then we'll have meetings?
By law, right, they cannot,
Right.
because of its proximity to the PD, I guess that's what
Right.
they're talking about. Anything else? Chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move. Second.
That's good enough for me.